Fresh Fit. And Andrew, I'll turn it to you to go ahead and start with opening statements, and I'll start the timer.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you to the entire Fresh and Fit audience for coming out, and to DGG as well. We're here today to debate if the events of the January 6th Capitol riots were an insurrection or if they weren't. Simple. It's a simple debate.
And I'll hold you to those words. If it was an insurrection, what would your response be? MAGA seemingly can't clear the air about what actually happened that day, as MAGA is seemingly only interested in arguing with those very hated liberals and defending Donald Trump, and showing their loyal support to Marjorie Taylor, rather than actually looking at the very abundantly available footage of what happened that day. Do any MAGA people who weren't anywhere near the Capitol building have any personal experience of anything that happened that day? No. So who are any of you to say anything if you were all unwilling to do anything other than pick fights with the liberals/Democrats and defend Donald and Marjorie like they're Jesus, who they for some reason feel compelled to defend even Jesus, who was supposed to be a demigod? If it was not an insurrection, what was it? Why were those protesters and rioters there? Or do you deny any riots occurred?
They either were or they weren't. Looking into the idea of insurrection itself, it isn't exactly clear what the meaning of it is. It does always seem to be tied together with violence or some will to overthrow a government, law, government system, government itself, or resistance to that law, or something akin to this. The Supreme Court hasn't given us any guidance on this as they wash their hands of it, and to date, not a single person has been charged.
You bring justice up, while the question is, can justice be trusted? Marjorie played dumb at her January 6th hearing about a year ago. While as she legitimately had no knowledge or memory of anything that happened, the judge or whomever at this hearing did not order Marjorie's removal from the committee on account of her supposed cognitive problems she exhibited there. Yeah, what good is the system if it's not actually doing anything? This discounts your mentioning of justice on this debate, Andrew.
Or convicted of insurrection who participated in any of the J6th rioting. This includes Donald Trump himself, who was acquitted of inciting insurrection. You would think, with no clear guidance of what an insurrection is, a lack of anybody being prosecuted for this supposed insurrection who participated, and a president acquitted of inciting one, that would be that. The events of January 6th were a protest that turned into a riot. This is nothing new. Democrats do it all the time. In fact, Destiny...
Okay, so you bring the Democrats into this now. So the Democrats' bad actions make it alright for you guys to fuck around and commit crimes and treason? A bit of a tribalism fallacy, don't you think? Of course, as I've asked MAGA a few times, have any of you spoken to every protester asking them if they are Democrat or Republican? No, right? So how do you know if the rioters were Democrats? Maybe they were all Republicans. Even if they were all Democrats, that only means the Democrats are also politically motivated criminals.
In 2021, completely agreed with my current assessment. Please, if you don't mind, play clip 1.
Okay, we will make that available to you. Bills is going to roll it up right now. And I will go ahead and give you an extra 5 seconds just on your thing, just because. Okay, go ahead, play the video, please. Bills?
Do you think the majority of the people there were actually trying to do that, and all they managed to do was kill one woman got shot by the cops? You're fucking delusional. I think most of the people probably.
Here you bring an excerpt up, one of however many you have prepared. What do Destiny's words have to do with whether what happened there and then was an insurrection or not? Especially when you later shut down Destiny's definition because you don't care. After you asked Destiny for his definition, as many commenters have already pointed out. So, Destiny slipped, or contradicted himself, or whatever? That means an insurrection didn't happen on January 6th? Wouldn't footage with spoken word to indicate what happened that day be the idea to include here? Not what a fucking claimant said in the past? Just because you hate him?
showed up to protest because they were fucking mad, and then shit got riled up. There were probably, almost for sure, I would say, some genuine bad actors there that had fantasies of invading the fucking Capitol and shit. Now, I think I heard from the FBI that it was like 5% or less had some plan to do something. Even that number sounds a little bit high, because 5% of however many thousand people, there's a lot of people. But I don't think every single person who went there, their goal was to destroy the White House or destroy the Capitol building and take it over. But because if they were, we would have saw way more shit.
Okay.
Now, just so you know, I have no visual on my end when those play, and I'd appreciate it if you guys could put the visual up on my end as well.
Okay.
In fact, Destiny even agrees such rioting political violence.
What difference does a visual make? All you're doing here is making this debate about Destiny. That's his perception of what happened that day, not facts or footage.
Is part of the democratic process, akin to voting, he says. He said this to justify the George Floyd or BLM riots, that such riots were just one side of the Democrat coin and baked in to our democrat process. The tail's in and just the other half of democracy, he says. Of course, he...
And what does that have to do with whether this was an insurrection or not, Andrew? You're just trying to use his words against him. You're trying to smear Destiny. I don't know what the fucking moderator's story about this shit is. Not a very good fucking moderator.
later denied this. Please play clip 2.
Okay. And we'll get this so that you can see it. Just 1 second. I'm gonna stop the clock while we're right now we're 2 minutes and 40 seconds in. Oh, hold on, Bill. I'm gonna start the clock once back up once to be fair here. Once the clip is up.
Territorial at all. I think that affecting political change like this is fine. Like that's part of the goal. Like activism and riots are one side of the coin, and the other side is voting.
Woo.
And
So,
this is 20 seconds in. Go ahead.
so why the radical change of heart on this topic from Destiny?
So, what do either of those clips have to do with whether or not an insurrection happened on that day? For a simple answer, as you stated at the beginning of this debate, you sure are doing a lot of tap dancing. The moderator isn't doing anything about this. He's just simply playing along. Destiny isn't questioning you either. I understand this video is nearly 3 hours long, but this is why nothing gets fucking done in the world. If we have to sit through so much bullshit on a panel for an important political issue, which a Trump apologist wants to use to fuck with Destiny, fuck that.